Hello, I'm David Allen, and this video is one of a series of presentations in support of my application to contest the UKIP party leadership. This one is about Islam and how we should approach the violence that it drives in our society. In the 2017 general election, Paul Nuttall announced a burqa ban as his first pronouncement of the campaign. I felt like banging my head against the wall. I did a BBC Radio Kent interview shortly after that, which focused almost entirely on this subject, only breaking off to quiz me on his competencies. Everything else we stood for was lost. Now, there is a tried and tested way to gain support, and that is to focus on something people already agree with, or at least aren't going to respond to negatively. As I've already indicated, this should be voting reform. Now, there is a threat from Islam, but the burqa pronouncement was a huge error. Islamification, political Islam, Islamism, or whatever you may know it as, is a major problem in our society and not well understood, largely because the debate is only just starting. We do need to speak out about it, but from a position of strength, not weakness. Those that understand Islamic history will acknowledge the great duality that exists within Islam. A duality that presents different perspectives, where followers of one side may know little of the dark side. One can educate oneself extensively in Islamic studies with not a mention of the fundamental dogma that lies behind those who follow the Muhammad of Medina, which underpins the violent political objectives and provides the religious rationale behind terrorist acts. Combating Islamic terrorism does require action, and we should take note of the Italian approach to countering this threat. It is not by accident that Italy has had no terrorist incidents. Their approach is proactive, rather than just monitoring people and building up an encyclopedic register as an academic exercise. They act at the first sign of jihadism. It may be from an intercepted communication or a report from within the community, but when that happens, they embark upon a process of extreme interrogation, and if substantive intent is found, the person is removed, prosecuted or deported. Currently, there are 181 imams in prison in Italy. Critical to the understanding of religiously driven idealism is that rehabilitation is neither sought nor desired by the majority of offenders. The concept, therefore, of a changed person, of a realignment of UK values, or a change of heart are invalid. Our traditional re-acceptance of those who have served their time has no meaning with these people, and they should never be allowed back into our society. After the period of incarceration has concluded, they must be deported and never allowed to return. But there are many UK Muslims who do not follow this violent dogma, and enlisting their help in identifying and prosecuting those who would wish to do us harm is an important part of the strategy we need to adopt. We know it is unhelpful when so many of them simply deny the religious foundations of political Islam, because the understanding of where the authority comes from that underpins violent jihad is also an essential part of the solution. It is also true that many Muslims and many schools of teaching completely ignore the violence and political objectives that stem from the 8 years of Muhammad's military and suppressive reign in Medina. It's perfectly possible to undertake an Islamic study course without ever being exposed to the full and violent truth. It really isn't all Muslims, but it most certainly is some of them. We must identify them, interrogate and prosecute much more effectively than is presently the case. There is more known about the Prophet Muhammad, and held to be true, than any other religious icon. It is, therefore, disappointing that so few of us have ever bothered to read the truth from these original sources or their translated equivalents. It is doubly disappointing that the least well-informed appear to be our political class, and it is high time this changed. Thank you for watching.